Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Scott, that's Michael. Today we're answering the question, is Lake of the Ozarks a good place to raise a family? And I think I've shot one of these videos before. I think it caused a little bit of controversy and don't care, gonna shoot it again because a lot of times when we're having conversations and you're thinking about relocating and you have kiddos, of course, that question kind of comes up. And I don't think it matters where you move to, right? You can move to the inner cities, you can move to the suburban areas, you can move to Lake of the Ozarks. And if you have children, you're asking questions to whoever lives there, realtors, friends, whatever. Hey, tell me about crime, tell me about the schools, tell me about the people and the community. And like, is this a good place for us to raise our family? And I'll give you kind of my feedback on it. I'm trying not to go down like a rabbit hole or any type of political hole or anything like that. But when we had children, we adopted a basic rule, right? And the basic rule was my kid, my rule, okay? Because when you have children, everybody's gonna tell you how to raise your children, right? Your mom, your dad, your siblings, your aunts, your uncles, everybody's gonna tell you, oh, you gotta do this. Cool, thank you, my kid, my rule. So in raising your children, your child, your rule, maybe Lake of the Ozarks is a great place for them. Maybe it's not. Maybe you want to be in city lifestyle. I don't know. But a lot of people we talk to when they're thinking about relocating their family, they're saying we want a different pace of life. We would like to raise our children maybe differently. And I think maybe because of the world we live in right now, or the social media or the technology, or maybe it just feels like everything's a little bit hot right now with our world, that families are maybe looking for a little bit of a disconnect. Okay, so a little bit of a disconnect, a little less looking at your phones, right? And a little bit more nature and peace and tranquil and a different type of lifestyle where you're actually spending time with the people that you love instead of looking at a device and clicking a like or doing something. So I told myself I'm not gonna go off on a long tangent, and there I am going off on a tangent. But Lake of the Ozarks is a great place to raise a family. If you have morals and ethics and Midwestern values and you like the outdoors, you like nature, you like lake life, you like spending time with the people that you love, this is gonna be a great place for you to raise your family, on top of having two great school districts for them to get their education. And so my simple answer is yes. You would want to obviously call and reach out and ask some more questions or kind of come and experience it yourself. But the majority of the families that are coming down that we hear from are bringing up a little bit of a disconnect and a little bit of a different pace of life.
Yeah, absolutely, Scott. You said that really well. There's a lot of this, especially the people that are relocating from these really large markets.
Totally.
And our full-time residence now is really growing. And
Correct.
a lot of these people are moving here. We kind of have both extremes, right? We have the extreme of people with little kids, and they want those amazing school districts. They want that Midwest values. They also want that feeling of safety. Right? And that disconnect from the technology.
Yes.
And then we have the retirees. But on the people with families, it's very interesting. We've had some dialogue with people that are relocating, and one of the things, a few things to talk about is topography, geography, things like that in our videos. The one thing that's a little bit we have to get our heads around is sometimes our bedrooms are smaller.
Yes.
And that's coming from a large market with a big home. Lots of times parents say, gosh, these bedrooms are so small. I say, well, they were designed that way.
Yep.
Right? They're designed that way in a second home resort market, in a lake life, and the locals will tell you you're supposed to be outside.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be inside the house, right?
Yep.
And you're supposed to be doing things that are not on your telephone. Now, not that we don't have those social tools, not that we don't have technology. I don't want that to be misunderstood.
Correct.
But there is a culture here of doing things, right? You play golf with your kids, you go wakeboarding with your kids, you ski, you paddleboard, you kayak, you do a lot of things outdoors more than sometimes you do in a big, large market. That takes a little getting used to, but those are some of the things that we hear from parents with little kids, and those are the things that they want to know about on top of all the other amazing things about the lake.
Yeah, and like you could, for sure, we could find you a home that literally has no cell signal, no Wi-Fi coverage, and no anything, and you could absolutely disconnect from the world and spend purely nothing but time with your family. I don't think you all want to disconnect that much. However, the new construction that's around the lake is obviously a little bit more conducive to a bigger bedroom or a layout. Some of the older homes, again, there's a second home market back in the day, so everything's a little bit smaller. They wanted you to be outside doing things on your dock and obviously with your family. So same concept, right? You're going to choose to probably relocate here with your family so you can spend more time with them, to disconnect, enjoy the lake, enjoy the parks, golfing, like whatever it is. You want to get outdoors, camping, four-wheelers, like all that fun stuff that you can do. And that's a big thing. Another thing that we get kind of asked is like, hey, because we live in suburban America or big city, we have all of the sports and all of the things that kids can do. So, football, basketball, baseball, cheer, and gymnastics, and jujitsus, and horseback. Like, we have all that here too, right? You do have all of those things. And we fielded that question before because that is a concern. Like, I don't want to remove my family from all of these things that we have readily available to us and come to a place that's in the middle of the woods. I get it. However, you do have all those things with a caveat because now you got surf school, ski school, swim school. Like now you have even more maybe options that if your child does like water sports, you can't do that in suburban America.
No, in fact, we've had a couple of clients relocate with families here in the last probably 24 months, and I can think of two stories in particular. One Scott was the opportunity from an amazing education to get into a great college, to give them a leg up from where they were currently living. That was one. So that's something to think about.
Because the school districts here are great.
Amazing.
Right?
Amazing
School districts and teachers and education. So don't think that you're coming to the middle of the woods to some podunk something. You're going to get a great education.
And another one relocated from another large market on the other coast, and their son was in football and the competition was just fierce, moved here, became a football star overnight at Camdenton, ended up getting a scholarship into Mizzou. So that wouldn't have happened if they would have stayed on the other coast. So there's things that I think that you think about as families when you're trying to set yourself up and your family and your kids for success. Sometimes you move a lever to move another lever, right? And so those are two examples I can think of in the last 2 years of where we're great success stories.
Yeah. So my kid, my rule, your kid, your rule, however you want to raise your child and however you want to groom them, mold them, teach them, lean into them, like that's going to be your discretion. But I would imagine if you're thinking about like, hey, I want to make sure that my child has every art district advantage and I want them to be close to all these major amenities and go to concerts and do like everything, like this probably is not going to be the place for you, right? You can come here for a distance and separation and some peace. Like you do have Kansas City and St. Louis, so you do have big markets that are north of you, but if that's what you're looking for, you're probably not watching this channel anyway. If you are thinking that your family maybe would like to relocate and disconnect and get outside and boat and hike and bike and be together because you love each other and maybe put down those devices just a little bit, then like this is going to be a phenomenal place for you. You have amazing school districts, you have all the kid activities that you would want to do, and you're doing it affordably, right? So to be able to do lake life and do it down here 30% below the national average with affordability, like why not? It's almost like a no-brainer.
Right. Absolutely. So another thing that was eye-opening for us when we made the move full-time was there's a sense of safety and security. So, and I know it's probably a false sense, but Scott, you and I have talked on this channel, we don't lock our house, we don't lock our cars, right? So there's things like that there is a sense of safety and security. And I think there are people today that are seeking that. And you touched on it earlier in the video. We're in a very interesting place today, just as a nation, right? And I think some people don't know. They're confused, and their confused mind sometimes is trying to figure out what do I need to do, right? So being here in the Midwest can be a great landing spot. And you did make a good point because you're super close to St. Louis, super close to Kansas City, Columbia, Springfield, even Bentonville.
Branson's right
Branson.
South of us, like geez.
A lot of people here also go to Chicago. So we're close to a lot of these large markets as well. For if you're having yearning for those type of things.
Totally. So it does check a lot of boxes. Again, your kid, your world, we get it. But when you're reaching out and we're having conversations, whether it's about retirement or moving my family, a lot of it is about like, hey, tell me about the people that are around there and what's the community like and all those kinds of things. And I always say, like, you're moving to a place that everybody moved here for the same reason, right? Like if there wasn't a lake here, nobody would be here. You would just have mountains and woods. But because there's a big lake, 1,100 shore miles, phenomenal lakefront properties with boats and docks and all the lake life, like you're moving to a place that other people have chose to move to as well. So it's easy to find your people, find your community. There's every denomination for religion down here. So you're going to have fellowship. Like it is going to be more of a disconnect, country, laid back lifestyle, but you're still going to have everything you need from a family, activity, financial price point that you're looking for. So I won't ramble anymore.
You're okay.
I won't give my 2 cents anymore. I think you know where I'm coming from, but it's a conversation we normally have with you guys, and we would love to continue to have it with you. So call me, text, email me, reach out to us. Let us know what we can do to help answer some of those questions or get you connected to the school district or introduce you to some more people down here, and you can hear it from them if you want to. Come into town, go sit at a restaurant, and we'll break bread, and we'll talk about that stuff too. So whatever we can do to be a resource for you for anything you need lake life here at the Ozarks, like reach out, let us know what we can do. Till then, guys, we'll just see you on the next video.